Hello, my friend. Welcome back. Today is a gentle chair yoga class. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't chair yoga for old people? No way, Jose. Chair yoga is great for when you just want to do yoga like at your desk, or you're looking for something more gentle and supported. Maybe you're dizzy, maybe you're sick, maybe you just want to do yoga while you watch TV. And so I've got this short, gentle chair yoga class that's going to stretch a lot of different areas of your body, specifically the upper back, shoulders, and neck. So when you're ready, grab a chair. If you can get a chair with no wheels and no arms, that is ideal. And all I have is a bar chair, which is a little taller than I would like. I'd prefer a shorter chair, but you see I've accommodated that with like using my bolster. You could also use like blocks or a step stool underneath your feet so that your feet are actually touching the ground while you're doing this sequence. So grab a chair, grab anything else you need, and let's get started. So we're not actually going to start in the chair. We're going to start standing. You are welcome to sit for this part if you prefer, but we are just going to start with some gentle shoulder movements. And so I'm going to do this part standing. You're welcome to do it sitting or standing, totally up to you. So first things first, let's find mountain pose. Feet hips to shoulders distance apart. Standing well, standing tall. Crown of head stacked over tailbone, shoulders over hips. Thinking about bringing your body into alignment. Let's take 5 mindful breaths. Just noticing your inhales and exhales. You don't have to do anything special. Just allow them to flow freely and bring awareness to the simple act of breathing. The first thing we're going to do is some shoulder raises. So as you inhale, I'm going to invite you to lift the shoulders up toward your earlobes. As you exhale, open your mouth and give me an audible sigh out as you release the shoulders down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift the shoulders up. Once more. Inhale. Beautiful. Now we're going to do some simple shoulder circumduction, which basically means moving the shoulders in their range of motion. So start by lifting the arms forward and up, letting the shoulders rise, and then bending the elbows slightly. We're going to take the arms and elbows slightly back and down. That's it. Let's do that 5 more times. Inhale up, slight bend in the shoulders, release them down. As many rounds as you can do in the time allowed. You can go slow, you can go a little bit quicker, you can go with me, whatever feels good. Really great for our shoulders range of motion. 1 to 2 more. We're lubricating the shoulders here, getting some blood flowing, getting some movement going. All right, relax the arms down, relax the shoulders down, and we're gonna take a neck stretch. So left arm comes behind the body. You can place the hand at about the center of your low back, or if you can, maybe wiggle the fingers around the side to bring the fingers to your side waist. You can even use the opposite hand to give it a little help. Just make sure whatever you choose is supportive for your body. So from here, we're going to lower right ear towards right shoulder and feel this opening through the left side of the neck. So letting the weight of your head be the thing that stretches the neck. We're not trying to force it or pull or yank, just letting the head do the work. Easy breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly bring the head back to center, release the arms, reset. If you need some shoulder rolls, take them. And then we'll do the second side. So now the right hand, right arm sneaks behind the low back. If you can sneak your fingers all the way over to your side waist, great. If not, no big deal. So from here, we'll allow the weight of the head to tip to the left side, opening up now the right side of the neck. Take your shoulders, relax them down. Notice if they're trying to creep their way up towards your ears, and release them down. One more breath. And then make your way back to center, release the arms. Okay, now we're gonna use the chair. So go ahead and come to sit, but don't sit all the way back on the chair, kind of slouching. We wanna sit on the forward edge of the chair. So our whole butt, our whole seat is on the chair, but we're sitting forward, and that allows us to come to more of a neutral spine. Whereas if we're sitting all the way back, we tend to tuck our tailbone under, slouch round, which we all know is not super great for the back and the body. So sitting well, feet flat on the floor or feet elevated like me on a bolster, step stool, or blocks if you need. And you could totally do this on a couch too, by the way. If you want to sit on the edge of your couch, that's great. So from here, we're going to come into some seated cat and cow. So on your inhale, I want you to roll slightly forward onto the front of your sitting bones, drawing the shoulders back, broadening through the armpits, opening the chest, lifting the heart, slight gaze up. And then as you exhale, start to round backwards, hugging the belly button in towards the back of the spine, chin towards chest. Good. As you inhale, transition back forward to that arching spine, spreading through the chest, drawing the armpits away from each other. And then exhale, round, slightly tucking the tail under, spreading the shoulder blades. Inhale, open up. Seated cow. And exhale, rounding the spine. Seated cat. One more. And exhale. And then come back to your neutral spine. The next thing we're going to do is a seated twist. So taking the back of your right hand to the inside of your right knee. And let's start to turn our torso. Think about turning from the low ribs and up. Okay, the belly and the pelvis continues to face forward. We're twisting through the rib cage and up. Now, if you want to reach that left arm away, if you want to take that left hand to your low back, maybe you want to tuck the fingers of the left hand inside the back of the chair somewhere, as long as you're not yanking. You can also even take the fingers behind the left ear. I really like this one, and thinking about reaching back through the left elbow. I personally like how this feels in my body. You can experiment and see what feels good in your body. A few full breaths here. Breathing into the sides of your rib cage. Feel the sides of your rib cage expand. And then release, coming back to center. Let's take it to the other side. Back of the left hand to the inside of the left knee and thigh. Start to twist to the right side of the room. Again, lots of options for the right arm. Reaching backwards on the low back sacrum area, or elbow reaching backwards, fingers behind the ears. about keeping the spine stacked vertically over itself. So notice if the crown of your head has traveled forward or traveled backwards, and try to bring it as best as you can over where your tailbone is in space. One more breath and release. Let's take it into a side bend. Okay, so we're going to laterally bend, reaching that right arm up and over. If you have something beside you to set the left hand on, you can do so. If not, you can kind of reach the left hand across or grab the edge of your chair seat. Whatever you need to feel supported. Thinking about elongating through the right seam of the body. Stretching through the armpit, the side of the ribs, all the way down into the right side of your waist. You may even feel this stretch into your hip. Beautiful. One more breath. And make your way back to center. Second side. Left arm up and over. Thinking about really taking that left hip and grounding it down into the chair, not letting it pop up, not rocking onto the right side of your pelvis, but keeping the left side of your pelvis grounded down. Beautiful. One more breath here. And make your way back to center. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to give ourselves a hug. We've had a tough day, right? So just give yourself a little hug, trying to stack the elbows over each other. And then we're just going to do a little bit of movement here, a little bit of flow. So bringing the elbows down towards the ground, and then maybe lifting them up within your range of motion. Ooh, this feels nice. Thinking about spreading the shoulder blades. Undulating through the spine, lifting the elbows up, and then slightly rounding the spine like we did in that cat pose, bringing the elbows down. One more, lift up, and then down. Now let's make sure we're even. So whatever arm is on top, put the other arm on top. Keep giving yourself that hug. Same thing, elbows reach down, inhale, elbows reach up. Moving at your own pace within a range of motion that feels good to you. You don't need to really force the elbows up. Allow your body to move in a way that feels good, that feels safe, that doesn't feel forced. Beautiful. One more up and one more down. And release that hug. Okay, maybe roll out the shoulders a little bit if you think you need it. And then the next thing we're gonna do is take the feet a little bit wider than hips distance. And we're just going to lean forward a little bit for just this seated wide squat. Maybe you want to take forearms to the insides of your knees. Maybe you want to incorporate a little bit of a twist here if that feels good. Ooh, my back just popped. That was nice. Again, this doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to look a certain way. We're just in more of a wide-legged position, folding forward over the thighs, and moving in a way or holding stillness in a way that feels good. All right, just a couple more things here. So bringing the feet back to hips distance, let's take a seated figure 4. So taking the right ankle over the left thigh, slightly above the knee, flexing that right foot. We're just going to hold this for a moment. You're welcome to stay upright if you feel sensation here, or if you want a little bit more, you can start to fold forward, bringing the chest toward the thigh, or the belly towards the thigh, keeping the spine neutral. Great stretch for the glutes and hips. Come back up. Let's switch. Left ankle over right thigh. Flex that left foot. Get long through the spine. Option to hinge forward. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so from here, we're actually going to stand up off of the chair. You can move your whatever step stool you were using out of the way. Now, we're going to turn around and we're going to face the chair, and we're going to come down onto our knees. Now, if you're practicing on a hard surface, like a harder floor, you may want to grab a blanket, or you may want to double up your yoga mat here for some extra cushion for your knees. So I happen to have a blanket right here, but doubling up your mat works great, kind of folding it over itself. So if you need padding, you may not need any if you're practicing on a softer surface like carpet. Now, you might have to adjust the distance of your knees away from your chair, but basically where we want to come to is this elongated spine. So my knees are too close, so I'm going to adjust slightly backwards. Coming to the point where you feel like you can bring your spine parallel to the floor. Now notice if you're letting your belly and chest kind of collapse. Try not to let that happen, but gently hug the belly in, finding length through the sides of the waist, sides of the armpits. If this feels good, you're welcome to stay here, but I'm going to come into a modified variation of thread the needle. So planting the left hand on the chair or the couch, whatever you're using, we're going to take the right hand down to the floor and then creep and walk the fingers slightly over to the left, across the body, and then look under the left armpit. Notice where you feel this stretch. I really feel it on the inside of my right shoulder blade. You may feel it somewhere else. Hopefully it feels great. If it doesn't, back off. And just breathe. And then let's walk the hand back across, bringing it back up onto the chair, and we'll switch to the second side. So right hand on the chair this time, left hand comes down to the ground. Now creep and walk the fingers under the right side and look under the right armpit. For a little bit of a twist here, modified variation of thread the needle, breathing. Beautiful. Walk that left hand back and slowly come up. Last pose here, I'm going to use my bolster. You're welcome to use a folded up blanket or to sit directly on the floor. It's totally up to you, but we're going to come into crisscross applesauce. Like so. You can sit up on a folded blanket or sit up on a pillow or bolster, and we're going to bring the forearms to the edge of the chair and just rest our forehead on the forearms. It may not be a full-blown Shavasana, it may not be a full-blown restorative pose, but this pose is actually really wonderful for fatigue or headaches. It's a slight fold, being supported by the chair. So just take a few breaths here, closing the eyes, relaxing the jaw and face, softening the shoulders. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like if you need more time. If you're ready to move on, slowly start to lift the head, pushing up off the chair, taking your time, moving slowly, taking a few more breaths before you move on with your day. Thank you so much for joining me for this gentle chair yoga class, and I'll see you again soon.